What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna be making a couple of videos that I was thinking to try and help people who's thinking about maybe getting into the trucking industry and don't know where to go. Because before I decided to join, I looked at a lot of videos and tried to read up on the subject, but I couldn't find a lot of information on the net. So I decided, I'll be making a couple of videos, just for people looking for information. Maybe I can help them. A lot of these things will only be my perspective of things that I've experienced. So today I'm gonna talk about how I joined the trucking industry, doing over-the-road trucking, driving a semi 18-wheeler, how I applied for my job and what orientation was like. I hope you guys can follow my accent. English is not my native language, so sometimes I'll try and speak a little bit slower so you guys can understand and follow me. First of all, I decided to go with whichever company I decided on. So I applied online, filled out all the information, my experience driving. I already had my CDL, so I didn't need to go for CDL to a truck driving school or through one of the companies that sponsor you for driving school. Basically what I did to get my CDL is when I first came over to United States, for a couple of years I worked for farmers doing various jobs on the farm. But one of my jobs responsibilities involved driving a semi. So when I first started out, I didn't actually needed a CDL to drive, but I decided, to get a better job, I will need to have a CDL. So what I did is I went and I did my riding test at the local DMV. Failed a couple of times, but what I actually did is, when they have a test at my local DMV center, then I will go write the test. If I failed that test, then tomorrow I will find out where they will have the next DMV testing center, because I was like in the sticks in the middle of nowhere, so I wasn't near a big city or a big town. So I will just go there the next day or the day after, go to the next town and just go write it there. I found that it was a bit easier doing it that way, but I'm sure a lot of you guys know the road laws in the US, and it will be a lot easier for you, because where I'm from, drive on the other side of the road, and some of the road laws is a little bit different. So I filled in my application on for the job. Basically like a minute, yes, I don't even think it was a minute after I hit that button send, then I got contacted by a recruiter. So the recruiter asked me a few questions, and then she scheduled me to talk to another person that's gonna hire me for an interview. So they put me up for a date, and that was it. I waited for a few days till it was my appointment, and I got a phone call from a recruiter. So she had like over the phone interview with me, asked me a few questions. What's my driving experience? Where did I go for my CDL? So I just answered the questions, and then I got asked when I wanted to attend orientation. So when I was going to be available. So I basically told them whenever you have the first available date, they'll be fine with me. So they scheduled me for a date. Like a day or two afterwards, they sent me an email telling me I was going to take the bus there. You either got a choice, you can take the bus They usually hook you up with the Greyhound, the company I went with. So I got booked a bus ticket. You also got the option to fly there. Some people do that, or you can go with your own personal vehicle and then they reimburse you for your gas. So they sent me an email and with all the travel information, my bus ticket, and they gave me a number for a taxi that I'll be calling when arriving at the bus station, wherever I needed to go, and which hotel I'll be staying at. So when the day came, I took the bus. It's a couple of hours bus ride for me. There was a few people coming out of Florida, so they had a really long bus ride. For me, it wasn't that far, only like 3 hours where I needed to go. I arrived there. There was a few other people with me on the bus. They were all going to orientation. Some people were going for the whole, I think they were doing it for 3 weeks, the training. I only needed to go 4 days because I had some prior experience before joining them already a few years. So I only needed to do the 4 days orientation. So basically I called the taxi picked us up, took us to the hotel, went to the reception, give you your name and your information and stuff, and then they hook you up with an hotel room. You'll usually be sharing your hotel room with one other person, so you don't really get to choose with whom you're gonna stay, but I mean it's only for either 3-4 days or 3 weeks, and you maybe might not like who you're staying with. I'm not sure if you can ask for them to put you with somebody else. No complain about that. I don't have any information on that, but I mean for a day or for 3-4 days a week to 3 weeks, I can put up with some stuff. Then early the next day, we all got breakfast. After breakfast, we all waited in the lobby for the bus to pick us up and take us to where we need to go for orientation. So took the bus, got to orientation. All your information they already had, so they just called out your name. You all went to a classroom. Basically what happens in the classroom, they'll give you some training out of using if you're using a navigational system or a computer system with your company. It might change from company to company, so they will train you on that in the classroom. They'll train you how to use a logbook. Some of you might be rehires to the company, so you might already know a lot of this stuff, or work for another company. Me personally, I've never done over the road, so some of this stuff was all new to me. So I had like 2-3 days of classroom where they just went through company policy, safety. My company is big on safety, giving you advice, the instructor, what to do. You can ask in the classroom if you don't know something. They will be very happy to answer all your questions. So basically all they explained was all the safety requirements. I know the flatbed guys, you guys that's doing flatbed, you get a bit of extra, you need a bit of extra training, so you guys will be staying a day or two longer than all of us guys that's doing the dry van. So they'll give you training on how to strap and top your loads, because that needs a little bit of extra training, a bit of extra skill involved there. And around the third or fourth day, I'm not sure, I think it was the third day, we all needed to do our driving test. So basically you get assigned a driving instructor, you go to the truck, you do your pre-trip inspection. I know that I think the guys that's doing the 3-week training, thorough training, they get trained to how to drive. So basically, what they get trained, how to shift, shifting. They pre-trip and post-trip inspections, is a bit more thorough. So they spend a lot more time on that. My pre-trip inspection, I just went through everything, and I just, like I would normally do. Actually, never, when I went for my CDL for the driving test, I basically didn't have to do the pre-trip inspection. I don't know, that's kind of depends on where you gotta go and which instructor you get. So sometimes, I've heard stories about people that I worked for that went for the driving test at the DMV. So the driving inspector took them for a drive, and basically what happened was they took the first guy for his driving test. So when they got back, it was a lady driving instructor, so there was like 3 or 4 guys that still needed to go for the test. So when they could stop at the DMV, she asked all the other 3 guys, the 3 guys, she asked them, do you all know what this guy knows, about driving a semi? So they all obviously said yes. So she said, well then, I'm gonna pass all 3 of you because I need to get to my son's soccer game. So they were all lucky. kind of make you ask questions sometimes about the other guy coming down the interstate driving a semi, where he got his license and how he got his license. But anyways, so after I did the pre-trip inspection, we got into the truck. We started driving. It was just a few miles driving. It wasn't too bad, if the driving instructor weren't really strict. He will deduct points. If your shifting is really bad. If you're really grinding every gear. My perspective, if I'm changing gears, if you can't get your truck into a gear using 2 fingers, then that's not the gear it's supposed to be in. Then try a different gear. So we went driving around. He will deduct points for if you hit a curb with your trailer. I think you get like 2 chances hitting a curb. So just button hook when you're taking your turns. There's no turn wide enough, so even if you're missing that curb by 50 feet, then you're still safe as long as you don't hit anything. So got back to the yard. I had to do a straight back up. That's fairly easy. You get used to it after driving for a while, and you guys have been driving for a long time. It gets second nature. These days I'm having trouble backing up if I don't have the trailer hooked onto my tractor. So then I have trouble backing up because you get used to turning the opposite direction. So I did my straight line back up. Then I had to do my 90-degree back up between 2 trailers. You went through training, you would have done it quite a few times. So you get your own system on how to drive, how to do it. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there explaining how to do it. So a lot of the stuff, when I learn stuff, I'll look on YouTube and I look through a couple of videos, how people do it, and then I figure out my own way of doing things. What works for me might not work for you, might not work for somebody else. So yeah, then after that we park, hook my trailer off first. They will tell you how to do that, the safest way how to do that. Hooking off the trailers, stuff that you gotta look out for, hooking onto a trailer and dropping the trailer is just, make sure when you back up onto the pin of the trailer that it's in the middle of the jaws on your fifth wheel, and that you have the correct height on the trailer. When you're backing up underneath the trailer, tractor basically got to lift up your trailer a bit so that you don't high hook, because if you high hook, I'm not sure how it is with other companies, but with my company that's an immediate dismissal, or if you're dropping the trailer. So if you have to get in 3 times underneath that trailer and look, then go do it, rather be safe than sorry. So after I park, went on site, it'll give you a piece of paper, your scorecard, tell you if you passed or if you failed. The guys that did fail, they got another chance. They took them out for another driving test, a day or so later. The next day after the driving test, I did my driving test on the simulator. I would say it was really a test. It was more like playing a video game. If you played a couple of Xbox or PlayStation games, then you'll be good, man. You just basically did one, driving when you have a tire blowout, keeping it in the road, and then you do one going downhill. Just the law of going downhill. What I was taught, if you go up, for instance, you go up a hill in 7th gear, when you go down, you drop 1 gear, you go down in 6th gear, use your engine brake, and if you feel comfortable, it's a really steep downgrade. If you feel comfortable, do it in low gears, then do it in 5th gear. It doesn't really matter. You'll figure it out, when you start driving, what works and what doesn't. But just don't put it in 10th gear if you don't feel comfortable and the truck starts running, and you gotta lay on the brakes and have a tire blowout, or your brake gauge warm. That was basically it. And then next day, then you do all your rest of your paperwork that needs to be done, and there you go. My company got me a rental car to get back to the town I'm from, so I didn't pay for that at all. I got the taxi. They pay for the taxi, so I took the taxi the next day from the hotel to the airport to get the rental. Got in the rental, drove back home. I stayed home for about 2-3 days before I left to the operating center where I was gonna drive out of, and that was it. So I hope this helps some of you guys a little bit to understand how everything works. I'll be making some more videos, on some other subjects, about the truck driving industry in the United States. Some of it will be out of my perspective of, being a immigrant to the United States, how I experience some things that will be a little bit different here in the United States. So I'm not gonna be doing a lot of the videos, disrespectful to United States citizens, to the country, because this country gave me a huge opportunity, to do a job that I couldn't really do in my own country. And I saw that there was a big opportunity for me in the truck driving industry, because there's nobody in this truck that discriminates against you, in doing the job. It doesn't discriminate. This truck doesn't decide, if he wants a white driver or an Asian driver or a black driver, or if you're Mexican or not. It really doesn't care. If you could drive it, you're gonna get paid. And I believe that there's good money to be made in this industry. I've heard people complain about, that money has gone down, over the years. The salary stagnated. I do understand that. I agree with that. But that will be a discussion for another day. I'm just saying, that a lot of things where people decide in the United States and some first world countries, they believe that, it isn't good money. My own perspective is just, it might not be a lot of money, a good salary for that person, because he might be used to a higher standard of living. But where I'm from, stuff is a bit different. So being poor for me is a lot different than maybe for a person in the United States or the UK that sees being poor, in a certain light. But there'll be a topic for another day. I sometimes might be doing some videos on different topics that's not related to truck driving. This will be my first video, so I'm all new at this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and leave some comments. If you want to leave some comments, I'll try and get back to you as soon as I pulled over and in a safe location. Then I'll respond to your comments, and hit the subscribe button and follow me, and I'll put some more videos up on here on YouTube, and I hope you guys like it. You guys have a great day, and follow your dreams. If this is what you want to do, don't let people discourage you. Don't let the haters hate, because they will always hate. Don't listen to the naysayers, and just do what you gotta do. Peace. Thanks.